Welcome, guys, to this conversation. I'm Emil, and this is Andreas, and we're gonna be facilitating the immersion in Morocco this coming September from the 9th to the 16th. And we wanted to share this conversation with you guys to basically give you an overview of the practices so you can get a feel of our vision and get a feel of our feel, how we're going to be feeling, just everything, and just so you can figure out if this calls you, if this is something you'd be a part of, if this gives you any curiosity, and if it's something you would like to explore. So Andreas here, he's obviously doesn't speak Spanish, so that's why you're gonna have the subtitles in Spanish for those for those that are gonna be tuning in Spain. But other than that, I'm gonna introduce myself. So I'm Emil, and in the retreat, in the immersion, I'm gonna be holding space and being, I would say, a guide for the practical spirituality, for the practical aspects and the theoretical kind of things that we're going to cover around meditation, around integral vision, and just the integral life practice, which you'll be able to see what that is all about in the newsletter that I wrote on the whole contents. But gonna be facilitating meditation and just holding space with along with Andreas and Tato, and yeah, we're just gonna
let's do it. So how are we beginning the journey?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna start by describing what we would like to show to people, what we would like to, or we can go straight into describing the practices and the retreat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think it resonates to touch on the whole vision we have with it, and how and why we want to integrate like just direct experience, body practice, and then the theoretical or the concept side of things, the mental side of things, which is part of this integral view. So when we say integral, we mean body, mind, spirit, and shadow working in coherence, in cohesiveness. So with the different practices that we're gonna do throughout the journey, we're gonna emphasize more on certain areas of the self. This is obviously gonna be based on movement throughout the whole 8 days. But at the start, we're gonna do a workshop on the inner map, which is the inner map of ourselves. That's mainly gonna be a 30,000 foot view of what your development looks like on all your lines of development. So introducing these concepts, this new paradigm, this new way of seeing yourself and seeing all the things that there are to your existence. You're not just this body, you're not just this mind, you're not just spirit. You are basically this integral, or this whole that has different parts, right? So
the human has so many layers.
Yes.
We're not only our jobs, we're not only our names, we're not only what we do, we're also what we don't do.
Exactly.
And this is what we're gonna dig up.
Yes.
What we don't do, what we don't think, and enter spaces that the untrained, that our educational system did not teach us to do, really.
Exactly. So, kind of pulling off the curtain on all of these things, on the unseen things, as much as the seen things, such as the body. We're gonna have a in-depth look into, but especially this paradox that we were just talking about, which is how we get to these unseen things through the seen, through the body, through the practices of just that we're gonna be doing, like just the breath and just the exercising just the different muscles, like getting deep into the tendons, getting deep into the this physical, like just all the parts of our body, all the just
The expression, different qualities of movement, different types of strength, and we see how all these qualities that the body has, all these different types of strength, all these different types of movements, reflect into our personality. Personally, I have experienced, and every day I'm experiencing how when I see someone moving, I can understand how they think by their patterns that they create. For example, nowadays, most people choose to do exercises that involve only linear movements, like weights or CrossFit, or that actually amplify what we have already been taught at a young age, and that is to be logical, that's why science nowadays is becoming a new form of religion, because we are insisting that science and logical thinking is the only way to explore life.
Yes.
If you see, however, in anywhere you look in nature, there are no straight lines. The only straight line is the horizon that you see behind us, and that's not even real.
Right.
So, through the practices, we're going to explore different dimensions. We're going to learn how to move in space, backwards, forwards. We're going to explore different qualities, how the spine moves, and by the end of the retreat, we're going to have everybody, including myself, a little bit deeper understanding of the body and the signals that is keep sending to us.
Yes. And what it holds, and this again is where the integral perspective helps so much, because as you get deeper into the body, as you explore your body in so many ways, you naturally uncover things, shadows. You uncover, what else did we mention before? We said shadows, and basically unknown perceptions, like new perspectives, and that's the whole beauty and the whole I would say, it's like
I'm gonna have my, let's say, if you keep, let's create a hypothetical scenario, and we imagine a person their whole lives viewing the world only from one angle. In this retreat, we're going to explore different angles, it's a tricky thing to do, because how do you do that? So our bodies have created so many patterns of movement, and these patterns of movement have strengthened certain parts of our bodies, and of course outside of those patterns we have remained weak. So most people are strong in these linear movements that we mentioned earlier. So what happens now at the energetical level is that we're storing so much energy, you can call it. In yoga they call it prana. And when we say store, it's not in a good way store. Storing energy means you're keeping energy stagnant.
Stagnant.
So the stagnant energy.
Mm-hmm.
So through these movement situations that I will introduce, the mind, the logical mind, at some point will be suspended, because I will be overloading you with information and different types of movements that you will not have time to think. Mm-hmm. At the same time, thinking is not our purpose here anyway. So at the same time, it doesn't mean that you're going to feel lost. We will learn how to develop an inner peace, that everything revolves around that. So the body, it can go into chaotic movements, and yet somehow we maintain awareness. Everybody at their own. We're not going to push anybody to do something that they cannot, even though I would like to, and I will try to, if I see that someone can take the
and is open.
Some push, and they're open. Yes, I will definitely try to push. But we will be gentle. We'll be gentle,
and with
not to do any. The most important for us is safety. Yeah, we're gonna go to Morocco. We're gonna come back from Morocco stronger, healthier.
Yes.
And we're going to touch on some aspects of ourselves and experiment with some aspects of ourselves that might stimulate emotions.
Yes.
A lot of fears might come up during the retreat.
Yes. Wounds, old wounds, and just all sorts of like traumas even, and because that's what, just we could say, the depth psychology, that's what it is, that's what its research evidences, that the exploration of the body and the exploration of the body is the exploration of the mind. So when we get to move, like when we get out of those moving patterns that we've been used to for our whole lives or for many years, we start to shake things up. We start to shake the stagnancy up. And in that stagnancy, in moving that stagnancy, the stagnancy needs to come out. And for it to come out, it needs to resurface. It needs to come to your awareness, and it needs to kind of say, hi, I'm here, like what is what's going on here. And
the mind doesn't like to, so maybe I'm sorry, using the word wrong word, not mind, the ego, our tendency of being selfish and appearing strong all the time will take a hit.
We'll take a couple hits.
More than a couple also.
Yes.
Because we're going to be exposed to so many weaknesses that it's natural for that tendency of ours to look, that wants to look unvulnerable and strong all the time, and yet there's this promise, and it's not promise that I'm making, is a promise that everybody intuitively feels, as a deep faith that when the ego takes a hit and we let ourselves to be more vulnerable, there is so much joy to be followed.
Yeah, and growth, and peace too. Like, there's this. I think faith is a good word. It's a good way to describe it. And something as well that is very connected, in the same way stagnancies are gonna be shaken up and they're gonna be unstagnated. We're also gonna familiarize ourselves through the awareness that these practices are gonna bring. They're naturally going to force you to be here, to be in your body, to not be in your mind. And as you will see, as you explore the body, things are going to come up because you will move and agitate certain stagnancies. But in that process of moving, of exploring, of witnessing, feeling, noticing your inner chatter, noticing your critic, noticing what feels uncomfortable, what feels more comfortable, where you feel more confident, where you feel ridiculous, where you don't feel ridiculous. This whole witnessing, I think, is the whole. We will discover it's like what is inhabiting, like what is living in your body is this awareness. It's this it lives in the body, meaning the body is this vehicle for spirit, is that portal to spirit. I love the words that say that the heart is the portal of the soul, meaning through these body practices, through getting back to our hearts, coming back to our bodies and residing there, and actually being more present than we have been in some time. If you aren't, you naturally will, like in the space and the environment, and with how much we're going to practice, you will naturally inhabit this awareness. You will recognize that you are something way beyond what you think yourself to be, or what you usually identify with. And living through that awareness and choosing through that awareness is I would say, the next discovery that's going to happen naturally. And that's where these waking up experiences, these sudden realizations that, I had been pretty unaware all this time, or oh wow, I'm seeing this now. I see that there's nothing to actually worry about. Like, I'm right here, I'm present, and I'm just this, and nothing, like all the things that used to bother me before are not that strong, or are not strong at all. So this realization that all mystical teachings and wisdom points to is one of those discoveries that, if you are present enough, is naturally going to occur, going to happen, because we're going to dedicate so much time to
our bodies.
To our bodies.
Yes. And one thing I would say is that by understanding what our bodies have to offer, it's the offering of a lifetime, really. Our bodies is what we have. And whatever we do is because we have a body. And our bodies are millionfold more complex and more advanced than any AI. And we might try to seek intense experiences outwardly, chase different kinds of experiences and pleasures outside of our bodies, but we get to find out if we are involved with our bodies on a daily basis, on that our bodies can produce so much more pleasure and joy and different kinds of pleasant chemistries in the body, that you find out that you don't need to seek it outside. It's all in this body.
Yeah, it brings you to the discovery of your inner riches, of your golden mines. And this is what all the mystical teachings urge us to discover. This inert, natural bliss, satisfaction with reality, with things as they are, with what is in this time and in this moment. And the point here is not to this is nothing, like everything's perfect, and
I think we're getting a little bit too serious. Look, the point really, I would like to say a story. The point is that we are very privileged humans. Look where we're sitting right now, on the 21st floor, looking at the sea, and the things that we have now, the lives that we live now, not only us, most people, the people that are going to come to the retreat, not even the kings didn't have 200 years ago, 300 years ago. All the kings that passed throughout history didn't have what we have now.
At a click of a button, or
yes. Yeah. So here's where the story comes in. Back in the golden days of yoga, where the yogic culture was flourishing at its highest peak, there was this town in India where the king was a fan of yoga. So he had a guru. And because the ashram, the monastery there, right outside the town, had the support of the king, it was a wealthy ashram. They didn't have to worry about food and whatever. Anything. Yes, everything was provided by the kingdom, by the king. And what could the monks do? So the monks were super fit. They were working their bodies to experience this hardship that otherwise would come naturally by seeking their survival through hunting or through gathering. So because in that ashram everything was provided, and
they didn't have to worry about
their survival. Yes. So one day the minister of economics went to the king and he said, you know what, we have to have a budget here, and I see that these monks, these yogis, don't really offer anything to our kingdom. Why do we keep providing to them with so much? The king, intuitively, he felt that he had to give but he didn't know how to explain it. And so he went to his guru and he asked him, I'm receiving pressure from the ministers that I have to cut your funding. He sees the monks here, they're eating well, they look like super athletes. You don't look like monks here. And the guru said, okay, let's do this experiment. So
To cut the budget.
let's do it. No, not to cut the budget. Let's do the experiment. Come at night with a bucket of water, and we're gonna play a prank on the monks and on some people of the government. So they go first to the Minister of Economics. At night he was sleeping. The king and the guru went on his bedroom, the window open. They pour water on top of him. The minister wakes up angry. He was screaming furious, I'm gonna kill who dare to do this, And the king and the guru just run away off. Then they go to one of the monks. Same situation, monk sleeping, open window, pour the water. The monk wakes up. Finally, it's time. I have reached there, God. I have arrived. So gracefully. He has something that came to him so suddenly that we wouldn't expect. And in that moment, the king realized what the monks actually are giving to the society, and that is this centeredness, that whatever happens, they are there in joy, not to be afraid of anything.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the message that needs to be transmuted in societies that cannot even go to toilet and not disturb themselves by being on the phone. This need that we have all the time to scroll or be entertained with everything can be replaced with experiencing this body. Can be replaced and can be much more appreciated.
Yes. And I also don't think replacement is the goal, but rather it needs to be the foundation of it. So we actually are able to see clearly and live from clarity of perception, clarity of what's here all the time, and not what is projected out there or what is said to us is out there. That is what we should care about and what is important and what success is. What if not getting so entangled in all the things that we are told and that we are told to be entangled in is success, and actually live from this, just this, how would you, this inner silence, this unconditional peace and happiness at the heart of things. What if that was possible, that's what we naturally discover when we do these practices, when we familiarize ourselves with the body and our awareness, the nature of reality. You naturally see clearly. You start functioning just way more efficiently. You just naturally benefit yourself and others more because you are living from a full cup. You're not out there to get anyone, or you're not worried about being caught or anything. Like it's like this natural peace, natural ease with life that this opens you up to, and allows you to function better. And this is where the integral perspective comes in again, that it's not just about waking up to this, it's about showing up as this. It's like showing up in society, embody this spirituality, embody this awareness, embody this rawness, this detachment from everything, and this deep authenticity and connection to yourself, to what you truly are, who you truly are. Have that show up. What if, the guy from the minister showed up and wasn't looking to kill anybody when he had the bucket on his face? He would be able to benefit the kingdom way more. Like, he would not act from the ego, but rather this clarity of what life is asking and wanting, just what the highest good is, what its highest benefit and good is. So when we become alive to this, we can function way better in whatever situation you are. You start to see that you can embody, that is the word, embody.
What are we embodying? Mm-hmm. What are we embodying? This is the...
Yeah, and I think this is our closing point, because our vision for the retreat is to embody your true potential, your true multidimensional potential, like in all the ways, somatic, mental, interpersonal, just all the lines. So what are we actually embodying?
We embody two things, I would say. One is the stillness of our essence that is not ever not changing. Mm-hmm. That aspect we're gonna address through stillness practices and meditation. And the other thing we're embodying is the multi-dimensional and non-linear aspect of that which is changing all the time. That is our physicality. So yes. These two aspects, the serenity and the peacefulness of our being, alongside
the duality
and chaos of life, to coexist in one vessel, and being able to express both without fear, shame, or any other negativity, and simply accept the paradox that we live in, both the peace, which doesn't come in contrast with the chaos, and the chaos that doesn't come in contrast with the peace, and both can live in harmony.
Yes. And also finding, again, like that same thing, in action and no action. So having, in the discipline and the surrender, finding this union and this perfect coexistence, this perfect intelligence of your being, of the body, to act when it's time to act, and to have the clarity to intend, and then to have the intelligence as well and the awareness to be still, to rest, to simply just be, and finding those two, which aren't two.
In essence, we're so much in our being, in the stillness of our being, and we do not stop anything from happening. Eventually, questions like, by the end of our lives, if someone is on their deathbed, the question that if you ask them, what is it that you haven't done, or what thing that you have done in your life, and nobody will say I regret something that I have done. The moment that they're on the deathbed, I'm talking about. Maybe if you ask someone now, yes, that they're not on the deathbed, they will gonna have some regrets. But on the deathbed, extremely rare cases, people regret things that they have done. Mainly, people regret things that they have not done. And why are we not doing things? Why are we not expressing things that are boiling inside of us, and we stop them?
Yes.
That's because we're not centered enough in our peace, in our essence,
Yes.
and just simply allow what seems to be chaotic in the moment to take place.
Yeah. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I think that's a very good definition of what this practice and this work brings forth. It's to actually show up and express these things that boil inside of us, that we know are all that we can be, and that are just yearning to be expressed, are yearning to be shared with the world, are yearning to be embodied, to actually happen, to actually be brought forth, and to just feel as authentic as you can feel, and as just yourself as you can feel, and really live your life like to the fullest, as cliche that may sound.
And when we say that we want people to show up in society, it doesn't mean that we want people to be productive in society, really. Because what means showing up in society, really, it's a change of perspective, and that is living with the bodies, communicate with the signals, with these primal instincts that we have somehow lost the last few years with the introduction of technology and alienation of communities, face-to-face contact. And we're going to explore a lot during the afternoons, mainly the partner exercises, where we're going to explore how the shadows affect others. Not only just see the shadows that we have, but also how vulnerable we meet when it comes to touching someone or interacting with someone. So this is going to be an aspect that we're going to explore as well.
Yeah. Amazing. Beautiful.
Thank you, Brother Emil.
Yeah, thank you. See you guys soon. Probably come with more of these conversations since they flow so naturally. So see you guys soon. I'll leave you guys the rest of the information of the immersion down below in the description, so you can check it out. And yeah, all the best to you guys. Big hug. See you soon.